Thank you, everybody. I'm going to call to order the August 9th meeting of the Fairfield Golf Commission. You can start by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you, everybody. It's good to be back. I'm happy to be back in person. This is a much better way to conduct. Please come on in. Much better way to conduct meetings. So we are live in person, but we are also live on the phone. The meeting is recorded, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the public has the option of calling in and listening like we have been in the past. So for that purpose, I think I will take verbal attendance too, just so that the record shows it. Prove you can mean to do that?
It's totally up to you.
All right,
it's fine. I took attendance too, but you
all right,
can.
we'll put the record in for Priscilla. This is Keith Varian speaking, Peter Seacrest, Mike Harrington, Mike Feinstein, Liam Herron, and then from the town we have Anthony Calabrese, and from the force we have Bob Bignett.
Right.
Anybody else?
Your phone is playing in my hearing aid.
No.
Somebody's phone.
It's not mine. I don't have my phone on.
My iPhone plays in my hearing aid. That's how I communicate.
Maybe it's your phone.
Who do I want to call? Nobody.
Hey, Prue, could you put me next to Keith? I can barely hear him.
No, it's a radio.
Sure, let me see what I can do.
We'll move it.
Okay, thanks.
5 seconds to your car.
About 3 feet further.
All right.
All right, Prue, this is as close as we can get.
That's perfect. That's much better. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. All right. So, first agenda item, minutes from our meeting from June 14th. Prue did send them out earlier, so thank you, Prue, for sending those.
You're welcome.
I have one comment. Paragraph 6, sub 2, says Craig Curley took it through the town boards and they approved $100,000 for 10 years. It's $100,000 for a year.
Oh, okay.
It's $1 million.
I'm sorry, can you repeat where that was?
Paragraph 6, subsection 2, 10-year plan.
Okay, thank you.
And it's a technicality, but I get that number.
No, that's okay.
All right, anything else from anybody? Otherwise, I will accept the motion with that change to approve the minutes.
I move we approve the minutes as amended.
I'll second it. Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? And Liam abstained. All right. Thank you. All right, we'll move to the staff report. Bob, what do you want to talk about?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming out. I don't know. I start off by saying I feel everything's going pretty good. No major issues I've come across at all. Besides the rounds getting to 445 sometimes, which isn't so bad, but that's about it, complaint-wise. I'd tell you that when you look at the July rounds, we're probably down based off the weather. A lot of rain, and when it wasn't raining, it was really hot and humid. And we do have an older population there. I think we lose people just as much in the heat as we do in the rain. But probably better for them to stay home than to play again.
Didn't it collapse?
Yeah, that's my opinion. We did have one of those. But everyone's familiar. Yeah. The new starter cut is in. It's functional, operational. Computer's going in there, so that should have operations. We also got the 20 new carts. They're in. If you get a chance to ride one, I think your opinion would be greatly appreciated because, in my opinion, they're a nice upgrade. And I know a contract's coming up, so something to think about going forward. And the other thing I only have is kind of an announcement. A guy named Dennis Walters is coming on August 24th at 4 o'clock. He's a motivational speaker, trick shot artist. He's going to do it off the first hole, It's an awesome message for kids, people, inspiration. He's phenomenal. That evening, they're actually showing a movie about him in the new theater in town at 7. So it's kind of a full day for Dennis Walters. If you haven't seen him, Google him. I wouldn't miss it.
You've seen him, right? You've seen him before?
I've seen him many times. He's a friend.
Okay, good.
He is one of
I'm
the
going to
guys.
vote.
Yeah, I wouldn't miss it.
Will you be advertising that, Anthony, or somewhere?
Yeah, it was in Brenda's newsletter last week. The Parks and Rec Department will send it out, I believe, this week or next week as well.
And I've gone grassroots with the seniors, and it's still, we're getting it out there. I don't think we're going to have a
Can you
small
post it
crowd.
on the website or something like
Yeah,
that?
we can put it everywhere. I'm worried about too many, to be honest.
really?
I really am.
First tee, right? That's where you're going to
But, yeah, it's going to be, I mean, I just think the world of the man, so.
What time again?
4 o'clock. That's the live show, and then 7 o'clock is a free theater. In the new theater, there's a story about him that a local guy did. It came out beautiful.
You gotta get tickets for that, though.
No, maybe, I
You
don't
gotta-
know that
you
part.
gotta sign up,
You gotta,
I think.
I think you gotta sign up online for that.
Right.
It's DennisWalters.com, if you wanna Google him.
Why are some of the rounds, the times going up?
I wouldn't say that's a big problem. Sometimes, you know, if we have events where we put the ball in the hole, we'll add a little time onto it, but it hasn't been a chronic problem at all. I would say I fielded 3 complaints out of thousands of rounds. It's a really good culture up there. It really is.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that. That's interesting. Maybe I'm the slow one.
Could be.
I know we have I think a letter on this, but, I was at the range on Saturday or Sunday. Did we get new balls?
We're working on it. We're halfway through at least.
Yeah, there's some new ones.
Yeah, we're doing good. It's the best they've been. When I started, it was about 20% you could hit, and we're up at 70% of the ball.
Yeah.
And then the machine was busted on?
We're having a little trouble with the machine for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Anthony can talk about that maybe on,
Sure. Well, we're looking into getting a new machine, an automated machine, where we wouldn't necessarily have to staff the shed to have somebody on site. So, problem is we don't have the infrastructure right now to do that on site. There's no internet run to the thing, we can't take credit card, we can't use computers, so that's the issue we have right now. But part of the ARPA funds, the COVID funds that the town is getting, we're looking to spend on the golf, some of it on the golf course, about $260,000, I believe, has been allocated right now, though I hear it may be cut, so if anybody wants to voice their opinion at the next public hearing, that would be fantastic. But if it does go through, that would obviously be part of it, do some upgrades up there.
Okay. Broadband-wise, or can we do anything?
The hot spots are touch and go up there, so
Yeah.
we'd like to run, fiber if we can.
Cable up there.
How much do those machines cost?
The machine itself is about 10,000, so it's not incredibly expensive, but you have to have the infrastructure in place, and that's where most of the cost is going.
because then we wouldn't have to staff it the whole time, right?
Correct.
Like the wheel is not staffed.
Right, we'd be able to open
Put your
earlier,
$5 bill in,
close
get-
later,
Right,
yeah.
Yeah, that's what we want to do, is get more access to the range.
Right, yeah, change the times a little bit.
The machine's phenomenal.
Although the one at the wheel breaks all the time too. So, good, all right, anything else, Bob?
The only other complaint there, the rain is the mat, and
Yeah.
we're working towards fixing that too.
Yep. Okay. All right. Anthony?
Okay, everybody should have received the golf report with the numbers. As you can see, the numbers are higher than our past years, not higher than last July. But again, I think a lot of that is due to weather. Could be partially due to people going back to work, at least I've noticed there's a lot more traffic out there. But overall, a very good month. So pleased to see that both at Smith and the Park 3. I think there's some other things on the agenda later up, so I won't touch upon them now. But happy to take any questions on numbers or anything that's not on the agenda later.
Patio furniture.
Probably 2 weeks out still.
Excuse me?
2 weeks out, probably.
And what did we order?
What did we order?
Yeah.
We ordered 2 picnic benches with umbrellas.
Okay.
So they're nicer than the two that are there now. The two that are there now are just, from our park, we put out in our normal park.
Okay, and that's it, there's no other kind of seating or anything else?
Not at this time. There hasn't really been a demand for it. I had talked to Yanni about putting out some additional stuff. We've just kind of gone back and forth on it. Benches I don't think that's on the agenda. But the benches in the butterfly garden should be going in this week. So that'll add a couple extra seats. They did the pouch the other day. Didn't actually, I think, see them exactly right. They might be redoing a little area, but it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's just on that, I think we're adding more plants to that in the next couple of weeks. So we'll be finishing that up.
How did you and your wife came out?
I think it's great.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, we kind of lost it there in the weeds there for a little bit when on vacation, but it's been great. We go up there, we're up there a lot. Yeah, a fair amount, watering and doing stuff like that. So I think
Yep, I can attest to that. I saw Peter up there the other night after we were done, and the butterfly garden looks beautiful. And I sent an email to Peter and to Keith about one of the group members that we were playing with, and she took actual pictures of the garden, and it's amazing. It was a great job done.
Yeah, all positive comments.
Yeah, so we're going to fill it out with more stuff in there. We just said issues getting product like everybody. So we'll,
Okay. Peter Grace is not here today. Is that right, Anthony?
That's correct.
Okay. I didn't know if he was calling in. All right. Greens Committee.
Priscilla?
Mike, do you want to go first, or?
Well, the Greens are terrific, I think, given the level of play and the time of year and all that kind of stuff. I think they're in unusually good shape for the level of traffic we've had. We've got some bare spots on the fairways.
I concur. I think that the course is playing really well. I noticed that. I think it's just because of the weather that we've lost some parts of a few fairways. But for the most part, I think the course is in great shape.
I'll just say divots and ball marks. I don't know if you're noticing that still too.
Well, the ball marks on the green haven't been nearly as bad. I know you told Peter to make the greens harder, and I think that's made a difference.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and the same on the fairway. And I can tell you, our guys, we're emptying the sand bottles in 18 holes, filling divots all over the place for the senior golfers, and I know that the men and women are all doing the same thing. So the leagues are doing their best to repair any damage on the course. That's good. I'd say, given the level of play and the time to do it, it's pretty good.
Great. Priscilla, all good? Anything else?
All good.
Great. All right, part 3, gentlemen.
You want to start?
My report's coming straight from my kids, which they've had a great time. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to part 3 this month, but they say it's in great shape.
Doing well. Rounds are good.
I think it's in great shape too. I actually stopped by there too, just to talk to Ben, I guess, who's working there, right? And just to see if there's been any complaints at all with anybody. And he said, really things are pretty smooth there. Everyone's very happy with the condition. So, no, everything looks good when I was there.
Well, no, we did start, we increased the rangers down there, starting this week. We got some money that came in July. So we're going to have them there 5 shifts a week, spread out in the times I thought were best. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Yeah, that was probably good.
Yeah, I mean, it's Friday, especially Thursday, Friday evenings are pretty packed.
Yeah.
But you get
Monday, Tuesday morning, they got to leave, they got to get them moving a little.
Yeah.
And Saturday, Sunday a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But no, everything looks really good.
And what about the range? I mean, I know there's a limited, but do people go there and do they use their range at all?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah. I think you get more guys taking a couple hacks before you go.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, because I see people swinging over there. I saw a little bit.
I think it's great,
couple
because
bucks.
I've used it in clinics and stuff like
That's
that.
right. I think you guys. That's probably you guys use the most, right?
It's great for me. Anywhere.
I have a question about the par 3 range. When you go there, Do you bring your own balls, or do you purchase balls there?
We prefer you purchase them, but
Okay.
it's not uncommon for someone to go take 1 or 2 swings before
Right.
they go to play.
Okay. So there is a setup that you just purchase them right
Yeah.
there at the counter?
Correct.
Okay.
I think they have the new balls too, right?
That's where they went.
That's what
The balls are doing good. They're doing good there. We're almost hitting there. It literally went from 20% to like 70%. You can hit pretty good.
Yeah.
Good. That's great. Okay. Yeah, again, I think the par 3 is doing well. I like the idea of a ranger because, again, like I said, for the most part, people there, like I said, you get all different types of golfers. You might have a really good parent with a, new child or something. But sometimes you do get stuck behind people that literally will take 20, 30 minutes whole. And sometimes it's, all right, we gotta play around or we gotta do something here. So that's great.
Yep.
Okay. We talked about this a little bit. Starter shed and fire pit. I don't think we have to act on it, but the starter shed's there. The computer's up and running. It looks great.
Is it air conditioned? Did they get the air?
They have an air conditioning unit in there.
What they gonna put it for?
Yeah, this is a temporary unit. They have another unit on order, I believe.
A window unit. What are they going to do?
I think it's going to be on the ground. Vented in.
Yeah, one of those. Okay.
It's got a hole inside.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, looks good.
Lines for the window?
Lines are in.
Hmm?
Lines are in. It's like operating. We're using it. Which is good. It's good. It's going to help operations.
Good. All right, Anthony. Talking about the fire pit.
Yeah, fire pit, we should start seeing that thing built this week, hopefully completed this week. It shouldn't take long. But I've asked, Public Works to help out with that.
Good.
We're gonna move on.
That'd be cool. And I noticed with the carts, we're going back to the signing the waiver and
Yes.
filling it out.
Bob likes that.
Yeah, it's old school. That's good. They ran me down. I drove away. Said, I didn't know we were doing this.
Do you have many requests for single?
No. Some. And the person pretty much understands it.
He's gonna pay?
Yeah. And they're happy to do it because they feel strong about it.
Might be one above you.
It is what it is, but with an extra 20 carts now, I don't see
Yeah.
carts being an issue.
Good. Okay. All right. 4 Up. I know you guys are still working with them.
We have been going back and forth. Man, is this a tedious process. They, right now, they've finally, I think, admitted that they cannot implement with our financial system unit. So I've asked them to put me in touch with any other municipality that they currently work with that uses Munis. There's none to their knowledge. And the second thing that I asked them for was, okay, can you put me in touch with a software programmer that could potentially design a report for us? So they are now working on that. The only other option that they've offered up right now is for my staff to manually enter the data into our financial system every day, which is not going to happen. So that's the update. We're working on it.
So
Is there a chance this is just not gonna work out?
I don't want to throw the towel in yet,
That's where it's going.
definitely not promising. I'm not ready to throw the towel in yet. I mean, the subcommittee, to their credit, sat through, a couple
Well, they
presentations.
definitely lied to us.
Yeah, they did.
Like everyone who you guys are on,
I know.
3 different people asked them directly,
Oh, yeah.
but
Shocker. Salesperson lied.
Anthony knew it, to be honest.
Really? You knew right
I told them
away.
before
He
before they
told
even
me.
did this.
He
Exactly
knew.
what's gonna happen. But we're working on it, and, but, like I said, not throwing in the towel yet, so
all right. Well, keep us updated. Let me know if I can do anything to help.
On that note, though, if this is not gonna work out, should we start thinking about a plan B now, right? And, because we don't even wanna wait till like the spring, like we
No,
did
I'd rather
last
get
year,
it.
and we're gonna be ready to rock and roll by March of next year.
Correct.
So maybe we should start thinking about plan B soon.
What was the subcommittee that did this before?
So Anthony, I can barely hear what you said. I understand things are not going well with 4UP. What is your opinion? Do you feel it's going to work, or is it not going to work?
Well, I'm not ready to throw the towel in yet. I want to see if they can get a custom report for us, even if it's not one of their programmers that can write it. It won't be cheap if we can do it, but it potentially could be a one-time thing. If I can't get that done, then I would say we start looking elsewhere, because like some of the others on the commission are saying, we want to be ready to go with something new in the spring. So if we're going to do that, yeah, we would have to make a decision, I would think, to do that sometime in September maybe, and then try to hit the street with something new in October to solicit something.
Okay. All right. What do you think the timetable is for them figuring out if they can work with what we have?
I'm hoping this week.
Okay.
I'm hoping this week, next week, and then I should have more information that I can make a better decision on.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, Anthony, will you maybe let like Christine and Priscilla and myself, we were on that subcommittee, know, and maybe we should start up again come September?
Yeah, I think I'd like to just go back out to the street rather than call option B, and get new, and just get new bids. At this point, it's probably.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah.
So, well, let's hope not, but.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I think, because I see Alyssa, right? I'm going to take this out of order. Hopefully nobody minds. We're going to talk about Fling Golf now, if that's okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, sorry, I saw you standing there. I should have done this earlier. I apologize. No, please come on in if you would like to tell us about it. We have all the information, but happy to listen.
And my dad is here too. He
Oh,
works
cool.
out all the time here and
cool.
combining. Is it okay if I go?
Yeah, wherever you
Maybe I'll go to my room. So do you want a full-blown presentation or?
No, I mean, just tell us about it a little bit. And we have the information you sent. There's some
good.
videos and stuff, so
Good.
happy to hear about it.
Well, let me pass this around. This is the Fling Stick that
Okay.
I bought. I saw their presentation on Shark Tank. Has anybody else seen that?
Yeah.
You saw it? Okay. Yeah, on the website, okay, yeah. So, the Fling Stick comes in all different sizes for children up to very tall individuals. And, I have a ball, the ball goes right in it, like.
Same golf ball?
Same golf ball, exactly. Environmentally friendly, because you can use old golf balls, you don't have to worry if they're, good and new. It's just a lot of fun. I've played twice so far, up in Vermont, as you read in the email, and also in Milford. I played with other traditional golfers, and it was perfect. I kept pace, no problem. I didn't hold anybody up. We just moved right along. I'm swinging about 80 yards. And then when I get closer to the hole, you might have seen some of the other strokes you can use. It does take technique for sure. It's not just like you're going out there and flinging. I mean, you are flinging, but it's easy to learn, but it does require some finesse, and it's fun. It's just perfectly compatible with golf, and I just think it's great for people who can't play golf like myself anymore. Golfing really caused some major back injuries for me, and it's just such, it's like you're free. You're free with this lightweight stick, and the strokes are fun. They're much more variable. It's not so rigid as golf. I mean, when you're putting, of course, it's more rigid, but there's actually, there are different putting strokes you can use. Like you might have seen, you can do it like this, and you can flop over. So it's kind of fun in that way, because it has so much variety in the strokes and technique, and I'm just learning. I'm only 2 times out, but I want you to all feel comfortable that I don't see any problem at all for traditional golfers, and I just see more people joining the group, increasing revenues. And it's not an insurance problem, I've been told, by the golf course Timberwood. She checked with their insurance company, no problem. My dad is an insurance professional, and he doesn't see a problem. Sorry, I think I'm talking too long.
No,
Are there any
no, no,
questions that anybody has about it or concerns? Are you, anybody nervous or worried?
How long does it take for a round? Is it, if you were to play by yourself, is it about the same length of time, or what's the?
I've never played by myself, so I don't
Yeah,
know,
right.
but I did talk to, Alex, who's on Shark Tank, the taller guy. He said that it's about 25% fast. So it's a really, really good swing golf. That's farthest.
Right.
I hope that someday get up to 100 yards. My dad's doing 100, right, Dad? And so I'd like to play with my dad in Fairfield, play with my brother, golfer. Yeah, and go out and
Any other questions, Carla?
I'll just make a comment. I guess I'm a super senior citizen. But when I went out and played with Alyssa on a field, I was hitting about 120 yards. Just the it's just hard to get it straight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't want to shank it to the right or the left. That takes a little adjustment, but after I did it maybe 10, 15 times, I was almost hitting it straight every time. And I'm not a golfer.
Great. All right, well, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, now we can discuss it, because we will be acting on this. Want to hear thoughts from everybody. I guess my initial reaction is super interesting. I'm not such a traditionalist that we only can have specific type of golfers. I will say that the golf course is really crowded, and golfers can't get tee time. And so that's my big sort of hesitation here, is that, I'm on this, on our website constantly trying to get tee times, and I can never get them, right? And so expanding to a larger population to me right now, it seems difficult for me to kind of wrap my mind around, while these golfers can't get onto the golf course. So that would be my hesitation right now. I would say, again, I'm curious what everybody else thinks, but, maybe not now. I'm interested in seeing it down the road, but maybe not right now. I don't know. Again, I don't want to speak for everybody in the commission.
I'm with you all the way. I don't think we have room whatsoever, and I would think that we can have this in mind as we go forward in the next few years, and if we begin to find there's openings on the golf course that we need to fill somehow, this would be one alternative thing. But for now, I don't see any role whatsoever.
Have you heard of this before, Bob?
I've only heard it, I researched it once, you sent this stuff out.
Keith, this is Priscilla.
Yeah.
And I looked at the proposal, I watched the video, and as much as I think this looks like a fun game, I just don't think it's the right time right now for our golf course. I think, it's hard enough for golfers to get a tee time at any time, and if we add another game out there where another population is going to want to try to get times also, I think it's going to make it more impossible, if there's such a thing. And as much as I am intrigued by this, I just don't think that this is the right time at this point.
I'm agreeing with everybody, and I think it's something we certainly keep in mind. I don't want to rule it out for something maybe next year in the future, but for right now, I don't think it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, it doesn't seem like there's a lot, of support right now.
I don't see there'll ever be support if you're, unless you're going to build another golf course.
Well, golf is cyclical a little bit,
Yeah.
so, COVID certainly spiked it, and it'll come in waves. Right now, it is, and some of the courses where swing golf is have much lower rounds, so it makes a little bit more sense in those courses. Our course is doing, 50,000 plus rounds. It's just really, really hard to expand. Again, it's interesting to hear that we have not talked about it, so that's why it's interesting to hear that we're all sort of on the same page on this a little bit.
Is there any place where this is played in the winter?
Great idea.
I would be happy to play in winter, but not in the snow, obviously.
But you're not aware of any place that's doing it now? That's the only time we got time.
Yeah. That's right.
and we're gonna try to stay open. Well, we're basically open from, what, March 1st to December 15th?
Yeah, we were mid-December last year, so it's not a lot of time.
All right, well, that's a bummer, but, I guess.
Well, I wanted to give you the opportunity. I knew you were
appreciate
interested.
that. I had a feeling I'd be denied. But, I was expecting it, so I'll play in Stratford and Milford. It seems to be easy to get on those courses. Let me know if you need more players.
All right, well, thank you very much,
All right,
appreciate the
thank
time. All right, 10-year plan.
Well, I have another administrative question. For you. Oh, I'm sorry, it's in that second. What's the status on outings? What's the schedule for the rest of the year?
Well, let's get to that, let's get to that.
Okay, I noticed it was outing
Yeah.
Saturday, I didn't know that.
So, 10-year plan, where we are now is, I got everybody's feedback from the commission, we put together a list of the priorities, and at this point then, Mike and I will sit down and go through some cost estimates for some of those items, revenue projections, cost savings, if that's applicable, if there are cost savings. And then at that point, we'll sit down with Anthony in the town and try to come up with, I know Anthony likes to work waterfall, a waterfall or a timeline for a projection with Craig's plan that they did back in, what year was it now? 2009? What was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2010.
11 years ago.
Yeah, so that one was $100,000 a year, $1 million. I would like to do specific projects and then leave it available to be modified if at some point, after year 3, the commission decides project 5 is more relevant than project 4, to give flexibility. But rather than having specific dollars, to say $100,000 on a round number every year, I think it would be better to have projects and then giving the flexibility to the commission to change the priority list if need be. So I think more of an update than anything at this point.
Well, just also, I put together a spreadsheet comparing fiscal 2021 to the last year of the 10-year plan. And I didn't share it with the commission, just with you and Anthony. The fiscal 2021 actual was $493,000 above the plan. And it's all due to the round. Because the original round count, the estimate was there were 13,000 more rounds in the actual fiscal 2021 than the planned year of fiscal 2021. That pretty much accounts for all the difference. But no surprise, that's why it was so over my budget.
Right. No, it's great. I think we have an opportunity here.
Driving range was up 45,000.
All right, outing sizes. Mike, the reason I put this on here was Bob got an email about somebody requesting to do 14 times? 60 times. But no, outside of our Monday, outside of, getting an outing schedule, nothing with the Pro Shop or Boca. It was just a chunk of tea times on a weekend. Was it on a weekend too? On a weekend, which is different than our policy is, a fixed fee for a golfer on Mondays. You got to go through the Boca. This was basically like just a bunch of people wanted to play golf at the same time. And so then the question became, do we want to set a policy for what constitutes an outing? And again, I think kind of where you are on this is where I am, which is I'm not sure that constitutes an outing. If at that point, a lot of people would constitute an outing. Particularly on a weekend. But the question is, do we want to just leave our policy, or do we want to create a new policy? And that's why I put that on there. We got an interesting request, which was,
When you get policy,
Yeah, what is it?
so it's in our policy. It's is it 70, what's per dollar?
It's no weekend.
Yeah, no, it's Monday only,
Yeah.
Monday only, and then depending on the number, you can do shotgun. If it's below that, you
But
can
is there a
do,
certain number that we already have?
No
No minimum number of people.
but it's 70.
Well, no, they get a shotgun.
Yeah, for a shotgun, you
Yeah.
get 70 something per person.
And
And then
76, it costs them.
$76,
$76.
that's what it is.
And then they
$76.
have to, that includes the fee with the pro shop.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I
So it's
have
like
several,
63 and 13.
there's a couple of senior groups around here, like Casper, they have a traveling squad of 40 golfers, and they try to go to golf courses and go shoot.
But they come during the week.
They've never come to Thursday.
Well,
They've
we've had-
never been able to get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But they called me, they want the magical rate.
Sure.
and we're not, this was, to me, it doesn't make sense if they're selling at this time.
No, they usually get a discount, I don't know why
Oh, they
they
do.
never like it.
But I just don't, I think staying away from weekends. When I watch the TC, the residents book from 6:00, whatever that is, 6:09 to 3 o'clock, pretty much universal. You'll get a couple of yellows in there.
Yeah, why would we have to change the policy?
I just
Yeah, my
wanted to
thought
be
would be-
consistent in the way I handled it, so people don't feel like,
Right.
Bob, let this guy do it, and he didn't let this
Yeah,
guy.
sure.
And then if we did let them go, maybe you charge them a premium or something. I mean, there's options.
Yeah, and also,
I'm not sure I actually heard everything and I understood everything, but it sounds like that people just want to get together and get like block times for a weekend day. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, but there's usually some kind of event. Everyone has these kind of groups
Yeah.
of guys.
there's a reason, but yes, that's
It's
just
not
it. Like, it might be a
Okay.
memorial, it might be
Yeah.
for a cause, but it's not an
Okay.
outing, like, they're not doing, there's no lunch, there's no, it's, middle of the morning, middle of the afternoon on a Saturday, 6 tea times, which,
Yeah, I mean, it might be. I mean, that's kind of tough because then it's like that opens it up to anybody saying, okay, let's call this something. Let's get a group of us to, and get a tea time, for 12 of us or 14 or 16 or whatever, and just call it an event, or a memorial or whatever, and not go through the actual event planning and which is supposed to be just on a Monday. Is that correct?
correct.
Yeah.
All right, so I think what I'm hearing is, what I would like to do then is, we stick with our policy, which is Mondays, and if somebody has something outside of that, they would come talk to you, and then we could put it in front of the commission. But I think at this point, we still want to follow pretty closely our outing, even if they want to do this on a Tuesday. I still want to follow our outing policy. I'd be really
It
hesitant
doesn't
to do
say,
it
it's Monday through Thursday, it says in
There's no outing,
there. Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah, and it's on the outing page too, go to our webpage. So I think this
there's a
links to
tournament
the,
section,
yeah, and then
I've read it somewhere.
It links to the page,
Yeah.
and then on the page,
Yeah,
yeah,
might
and
be
then it
on the
goes on the webpage, it talks a lot about it. I actually printed out, there's a couple of sheets that you fill out, information sheets and stuff from our webpage. And there's rules and,
Well, like if we have a charity event on a Monday, what are the green fees for that?
76.
Yep.
that's from our website, and then I think our policy is linked to these 2 pages on the webpage. But it says Monday only, right? Those are the kind of things. So, I don't know, unless you guys feel differently.
I think if you read it in there, there's something about not only Mondays, but cruise.
Yeah, the golf commission has flexibility to
Yeah.
approve, other than Monday. But it has to be, like, there was some, I forget the language now.
Early spring,
No, it has
late
to
fall
be-
is
yeah, like
appropriate by the
early-
Delta
right.
early
Yeah,
policy.
yeah, but-
appropriate, right.
There were guardrails on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so that,
No holidays.
I would like to avoid weekends. Otherwise,
100%.
I mean, I can't get a tea time on a weekend,
You know that.
right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
But back to my question, what's the schedule for the balance of the year?
All the Mondays from after Labor Day until it's dark and it gets to book.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So
How many will we know off the top of your head? How many will have total?
What's our number, do you think,
A total?
for the year?
9, 10.
10.
Yeah. Because we had we already had the Fairfield Youth Football League
Right.
game. Yeah.
That's great.
And we have, it's good. I do think there we have some money in the advertising budget. I think it would be wise to spend it this fall on the radio in South County, telling people we're here for outings, because people plan their outings for the year before. You gotta get to them now.
Okay.
Good
idea.
I think it'd be money well spent, and I think I can convince Yanni to match our money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are most all of them using the,
No, they have, it's part of it.
It's part of that.
Yeah,
Either no food or Boca.
It costs them, if you get a nice package, about $125 per player.
I'm only heard really good things. A couple people from the football one and other ones have said, great staff, great food, great restaurant, just a great day. So the outings have been going really well.
So far, I think it will be.
Yeah. Have you heard positive feedback from
Yeah,
everybody?
absolutely, yeah.
Good, that's what I've been hearing too. I haven't played an outing yet there, but,
I played it too.
did you?
They were both fantastic.
Oh, good. That's good. That's good to hear. Okay. All right, next one, we'll move on to the communications. I'm not sure why this one is under communications, probably should have put it in, because I think we have to ask something, but,
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. The memorial bench for Kevin Gusto. Kevin's father, Jim, sent an email in, you guys have probably heard about, the tragic story, and Kevin was a golfer, Jim is a big golfer, golfs regularly with a group of guys at Smith. Jim has the money for the bench. They would like to put it at the 7th tee box, which I think from Peter, I haven't talked to Peter, but I think Yancy did, was generally okay. So again, I'm super supportive of this. I think it's a great idea, and would love to approve it. So, curious what everyone thinks. All right.
This is Priscilla. I fully support the bench being placed on the 7th tee.
Great, that's good. Thank you, Priscilla. All right, we will act on this. Can I get a motion to approve the memorial bench for Kevin Kuzo on the 7th?
I make a motion to approve the memorial bench for Kevin Cutso.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, unanimous. Thank you. All right. Mr. Carpenter's email, I'm just trying to find it. Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to read it. He had a question about the mats. He didn't like them. We wanted to know what we could do to replace them. I know we've talked about this. What are your thoughts on the mats? Yeah, I mean, yeah. They don't hold a tee. It's just.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Put that in the
No.
improvement.
Yeah.
They can stand improvement.
Yeah, that's better.
So is that a,
But the money can't sell.
Yeah.
Would we go back to having a little rubber tee so you don't have to play in the
There's
grass?
great mats out there that are,
Get a hold of tee?
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah, the technology, it's like anything, you got it, 15 years?
Oh.
Yeah, that's a long
Yeah,
run.
go to Topgolf.
About
You
that,
know,
I
they
still
have
have the
rock
rubber
still.
band right back.
Yeah, that's smart.
Just in case it's.
And I think there's money in it.
Yeah,
The
we have the
improvements
money,
are coming,
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we could do that with the ball machine. That would be awesome. That would make the range a lot better. The mats are, they need upgrades.
You're talking about the new balls, how about the fences? You know, so many people hit the ball over the fence.
So we can't raise the fence, unfortunately. We did have, the parks guys came in, cut back a lot of the brush, so we were able to salvage like 10,000 balls.
It did help,
Oh,
it helped.
But yeah, unfortunately, we can't go up. We're not supposed to go closer. But we do have on the waterfall chart, $500,000 in upgrades for hopefully, I think, next year, for the range. So we would like to do some big things up there.
One of the items on a 10-year plan, but we need to coordinate that.
Yeah, I've been carrying it on the waterfall chart, and I tried putting it in with the ARPA funds. They didn't necessarily like it there, so it'll stay on the waterfall chart, but that'll come up in October's capital planning summit. So,
What do you think the mats cost to get you a good one?
Best one, 80,000,
Middle of the road.
60.
All right, so it's kind of huge.
Really good though.
Yeah, okay.
I think you could expand it a couple spots.
And I think we'll get a lot more.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think,
Yeah,
we could double.
yeah. Good. Yeah, it does. But
it's remarkably
their
busy.
break point, the
That
range
range-
needs upgrading in general.
that range is busy.
It's always busy. It's always busy. It's great. Golf is busy. Good. Okay. I think that was the only public comment, right, Drew, that we haven't addressed so far. Good. Okay. All right. because we're on phone too, name, address, for the
Yep.
record.
Bob Gorman, 225 Sturgis Road, Fairfield. I have a couple things to say, and it's been a while since we've been able to talk to you folks, to you all. I'd like to say some wonderful things about Biggs and his staff. I may not have agreed with the way you exited our prior pro. That's history. But you've made a great decision with Biggs, and he's done a phenomenal job, and he needs to be thanked for that. So I appreciate what he's done and what he continues to do. So that was a great move. Agreed. The Golf Commission, and I don't know any of you, Priscilla I think I said hello to, but we don't really know each other. I'm concerned that the Golf Commission is a political appointment, and I think there's a better way to handle this, personally. And I would urge you to think about possibly giving the men's club and the women's club a position on the Golf Commission for a year or two. And the reason I say that is, now Priscilla plays at Smith all the time, and she's a member of the women's club, I believe. So
That is correct, I am.
she covers that base today. When she leaves the commission, good chance there's nobody from the women's club involved. Right now, there's nobody from the men's club, in my opinion. Maybe you guys join, or you're part of it, but I think we have a voice. We have 425 members on the men's side.
464.
I lied. I don't know how many the women have. Thank you. I would urge you to think about that, because getting a spot on this board is very, very tricky. I'll leave it at that. And it's very political, which bothers me, but what can I say? The last thing I want to mention, since we haven't met in so long in public, the Golf Commission made a decision to give Boca the concession. And you had options. And Boca is a great restaurant. No complaints. No complaints about Yanni. Yanni was given a charge. My concern is that when we spent $7.2 million, or whatever it was, of my taxpaying money, we were building, I thought, a facility for the town. And right now, we don't have that. And it really bothers me. You know, we have a facility for Yanni. And I give Yanni all the credit in the world. He should make a shit ton of money. But if the football team wants to have a banquet, they just can't run up there and do it. It's just the wrong place, in my opinion, for a town facility to be run by a high-end restaurant. And you're not going to change that tonight or in the next 6 months. And again, no slight to Yanni. Yanni's making a buck, good for him. I just want it on record that I think it was a very, very bad decision for the town long term. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Joe Wright, I live at 115 Smedley Road. For what it's worth, I'm the president of the men's club. And one of my concerns about the facility, I agree with, that everything's going very well. I have no complaints about that. I do have kind of like along the lines Bob has. I did some research. You mentioned your Town of Fairfield courses, policy, and proceedings manual. And I looked this up under Section 5, Section E, restaurant. The restaurant shall be open for business a minimum of 1 hour prior to the first scheduled tea time and shall not close prior to dusk or sundown. Having been there a few times for dusk and sundown, I can guarantee it's open, but it's not open after the first, an hour before the first tea time. So I think that, kind of along Bob's point, I think that needs to be corrected. Because if I show up Friday morning for 6:30 a.m. tea time, and there's thunder and lightning, and we're all looking at our phones going, well, it's got an hour and a half to pass, and I wanna wait, a bunch of us wanna wait, we have no place to sit. Can't go in the pro shop, it'll be too crowded, there's no chairs anywhere else. Can't go in the car barn because of insurance purposes, understand all that. Not a good idea to stand underneath that big tree out there. So I think you need to address that, because, you know, especially we talked about the heat and humidity and the older players. You know, somebody goes down and 10:30 in the morning, you can't open a restaurant, get them in air conditioning, you gotta have them, I don't know, it's just to me, I think that is something, it's in your policies and procedures, and you're not adhering to it. So I think that needs to be addressed. And that's basically my point.
Any other members? Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Brian Daly, 195 Hurd Street in Fairfield. First, want to acknowledge the job Bob did in finding 4UP, the P-Time system, and how quickly the commission, you know, got together and approved it. And I understand we've run into some situations since then. I would just ask, is there's something about the town of Fairfield that's not allowing us to do this. You know, whether it's not a priority. I understand being a CPA who's integrated financial systems before, it's not always that easy, but other municipalities seem to have figured this out. And is there something special about the finance department in the town of Fairfield that's not allowing them to do? You know, so I could just say that, you know, I've written messages about the P-Time system and appreciate your discussions on it. I would say that it's really frustrating, right? And I think you've all felt it. This past weekend, P-Time system was down and people were trying to book. People are up early trying to book, they can't get into the system. And it's, you know, you just feel like there's not a voice sitting somewhere in the town of Fairfield, not the commission, but the town. And is there anything we can do from a public input, a public comment, you know, going to Brenda, going to the Board of Finance, whoever it is that is, you know, whoever they report to, whoever they say is holding this up. Because it just seems to me either someone wants to do it or doesn't want to do it, because it's a lot of work, a lot of effort. Other municipalities will figure this out. Is there a way that we could look at it as opposed to the options they're giving answers? And if the options is having people entering in data every day to understand a manual task in this day and age, it's terrible to do. But there's ways you can do it, right? People go to India, and Manila, and places like that. So there's options, I think, to be had. And, you know, I'd look for a commission if they need help, getting public comment to the town on this. We'll have more than just me. And I will say, I didn't want to comment earlier when you were approving the minutes on Section 7 crew. I think there was a comment about 5:30 being the time to get into the system. It's actually 5 a.m. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
I brought my jean jacket.
All right, anybody else?
Well, I'm sorry, Bob Gorman, 225 Circus Road, Fairfield. So my thought or my question about potentially having the men's and women's club have a member on the commission, how does that go from here? Do you guys?
I can answer that. I can answer that. That's a charter change, actually. It's nothing the golf commission can change. So you would have to bring that to the Board of Selectmen, who would believe through all their powers, would then have to bring that to the RTM, and they would have to make a actual charter change. The way the charter reads right now is the commission's made up of 7 members, no more than 4 from one political party. And appointed by the first selectman. So it would have to be a charter change.
Okay, thank you. I do have one more thing.
Hold on, keep going.
Oh, sorry.
Eileen Wenzel, and I live at 966 Fort Lockwood and Southwood. I just wanted to respond about the women. I'm a member of the Aging Home. We've had a woman on the golf commission from our league, I believe, for the last 8 years. Yeah, Lou Albrecht, Corinne, myself, and Priscilla. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, but that's, what is coming in with That's great. We haven't had that luxury. It's been a long time since the men's club has had a representative on this commission.
You say you have to fight for.
Yeah, but I think what you heard is that we're appointed, right? We don't control the appointments, and we don't control the makeup of the body. So if you want to change the makeup of the body or the appointment process, you got to go through the process, and Anthony did not come to us.
I understand all that. Trust me. I've been nominated for this several times, and obviously it hasn't worked in my case or others. But
You're the key, right?
you're quite right. That's all.
Yep. The other thing I have is on we talked about the seating outside, and, you know, in the morning, you can go in and buy your coffee and a sandwich at the window there, but because you're not a restaurant or the customer, or the customer of the restaurant, excuse me, you can't sit at those tables.
That's been addressed.
Yeah, I think
Well,
Yanni said
the
that.
sign is still up.
No, that's not what the signage says.
The sign is still up as of,
The patio is reserved for customers.
sign is still up. I
Right
took this
inside.
picture.
You have got to be the no offense, the only person in Fairfield who's reading the sign. I mean, I'm just throwing that out. No, he got the picture, I believe it. I believe it, I'm just saying,
Well,
now one person follows the sign.
We've also had we have people thrown off.
No, I don't doubt that. I know we had issues with that months ago.
Not recently, Joe. I don't hope not.
I haven't heard it recently, but I mean, that's.
Then they should take down the sign.
I agree 100%. I talked to Yanni about this months ago, and he said it wasn't an issue up until 11:30 when the restaurant opened.
Yeah, that's what he said the last meeting.
So-
The last meeting said that, so that's surprising that that's still an issue, particularly this morning. And I'll.
But if there's a
I'll-
sign, we'll get it down.
Yeah, exactly. I'm happy about that. All right, well, thank you.
Well, now, I have a question. I have to Procedure says that agreement, both of them have identical words.
Oh, I thought you were,
Unless prior to 11:30, you define the dwelling or the plaza as the restaurant, or in violation of both our procedures and the concessionary procedure.
Is the window open at 6?
I don't know what
We don't know if it's not happening.
Come into play on.
Priscilla, can you mute your phone? I'm getting background noise.
If there's inclement weather or there's a storm or whatnot, he's got the window staffed. So for them to open up the restaurant for somebody to come in and sit down while the weather passes, to me is more of like a common courtesy or a common sense type thing. And I think that might just be a conversation with us, but I don't think.
Two comments, it's never happened.
No, and I understand that. I understand that, but I don't.
And in the heat of the summer, it's that way every day.
But my argument.
Come on out tomorrow.
Right. But the argument to opening up the restaurant means he has to staff it.
Yes.
Right?
And it is staffed.
But if nobody's buying anything, it doesn't make financial sense from a business standpoint.
How do you know nobody's
Well, hold on, I guess, we can't go to the public to,
right.
Sorry. So let's stick with the commission, and then if we want to go back to the public, we can.
It is regrettable that the breakfast traffic sucks. There's no question.
That's the issue, Mike.
But it's never been as bad as it is now. You used to be able to go in there and get bacon and eggs, toast, and sit at the bar and eat. That building, I've been in that golf course for 45 years. That building has always been open. Now, the layout of the building now doesn't promote people walking from the locker room through to the first tee. So it's a different configuration, but the building has always been open, and it is staffed because there's people there in the grill closet. And if you're saying that with inclement weather, with heat, with frost delays in the spring and fall, all we gotta do is go to the grill and say, we'd like to sit in the restaurant, then
Well, again,
let us know that. or we'll do
I think that that's the
The building is not
conversation,
open.
I think that's the conversation with management that we can have. I think that's an easy sell.
But I don't know what you're gonna do. I mean, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, it's gonna be over 90 degrees. And Wednesday, you're gonna have a
What's the
bunch of
issue?
guys over 60.
Yeah, but what's the issue? So people coming 2 hours early?
They either come and sit in their golf carts or in their cars with the air conditioning on.
But if the tea time is 10 a.m., what happens?
But you,
Explain to me.
if your tea time is what?
10 a.m. So what's the concern? Somebody comes at 8?
No, but you know darn well, people should get there a half an hour to 45 minutes before their tea time. Many of them want to practice on the practice green.
Yeah.
They don't just show up.
No,
10
I agree.
minutes before
But
their
I'm just trying to understand the.
So they're all hanging around, and fortunately, we put out a lot of golf carts so they can sit in the shade.
Mhm.
But there's no place to get out of the heat, and we've had a couple of rain delays mid-morning, and we blew the horn, and guys wanted to hang around and wait, and there was no place except to go sit in your car or stand in the hallway. The building was not open.
The restaurant wasn't open, the building's open.
Well,
But be accurate, right?
all right, the building was open, so if you wanted to go.
The locker rooms are open, pro shops are open, the hallways are open. Right.
If you want to go sit in the locker room, stand in the hall, or stand in the
But I'm
pro
just
shop,
saying,
you can
like,
get in.
Let's,
Who wants to sit in those locker rooms?
I'm not saying that's the best place to sit, I'm just saying the buildings, the doors aren't locked.
Okay.
But how long,
I do not think our current behavior is consistent with the spirit of the history, the policy for the golf course, or the concessionaire's agreement.
Listen, if it's raining, I'd like them to have a place to sit. If it's, the heat I get a little bit because it's hot in the summer, right? It's hard to say that the restaurant should open every day because it's hot out. But rain delay, frost delay, those kind of things, we can talk to Yanni about that. I think that's fair. I personally don't think opening the restaurant to staff it to sell 2 bacon, egg, and cheeses makes a lot of sense.
That's not the point. You already have it staffed. They just don't have the doors open.
No, I mean, well, I don't think staffing the windows is the same as staffing. I'm not a restaurant guy.
That's exactly the way they used to do it.
But
Same number
how
of
is it
people
different?
serving breakfast
What do you
before.
mean used to do it?
In the old clubhouse, either.
Different restaurant.
Whoa, I said the configuration's different, but they had a 2-person staff there, and that was all it took to watch over the interior of the restaurant. Now, the layout was different, I acknowledge. the
Well, let's
layout.
talk to Yanni. Let's see what, Yanni has pushed back on this issue, as we all know. So I think let's continue the conversation with Yanni, see how much flexibility we can get about opening up the building to allow people to sit. The issue is that he's gonna have to staff it, because once you have people in there, it can't be unstaffed. And I don't
Cost of doing business.
think it's the same staff I think he'd have to get more staff. And, we're a percentage rent, on this lease, so we want them to make as much money, while at the same time promoting golfers to have a place to sit, particularly when there's a delay, rain, weather, that kind of thing.
I think you're trivializing it by just saying we want a place for the golfers to sit. But anyway, I'd like to participate in those discussions.
Okay, we'll talk about it. Go ahead.
Well,
Can you say, now that we've moved on, sorry, just for the record, say your name and address.
Joe Wright, 115 Smedley Road. So, in your conversation with Mike, I heard, the emphasis on be accurate and everything. Your clause here is accurate, yet you're not enforcing it.
Well, I will agree with you on the timing. We've been talking to Yanni about that. The issue is, there's nobody ordering breakfast.
Well, but wait a minute, how do you know that? He hasn't been open for it. That's like saying you're making a decision on data you don't have. We used to eat a lot of breakfast a year, 2, 3, 5 years ago, trust me.
Yeah.
So, again, happy to continue the conversation. And we're trying to, as Anthony said, find a common sense middle ground approach here, without coming down with a hammer.
Fair enough.
And slamming the restaurant to sell 2 more bacon, egg, and cheese is hard. And so we're trying to find a way to make it work for everybody.
I absolutely understand, and I get it, but again, you're basing that, you don't have facts to support what you're saying.
But they're open half an hour before the first tea time. So opening an hour before the first tea, you think that a half an hour before is gonna sell more bacon, egg, and cheese?
It's not the half an
We
hour. That would be me issuing an opinion on something I don't have any data on.
Yeah.
I'm saying that he is not getting personal about this, but we're not enforcing a policy that the town has in place, which to me, as a taxpayer, makes me a little bit uncomfortable. And I don't understand his answer being, I won't sell anything. He doesn't know. He wasn't operating the old restaurant in the old building. He's basing that on what he thinks. Now, I think a lot of things and I'm wrong a lot. He doesn't, so, look, if he does it.
All right, so maybe we try it.
He tries it, and he comes back and he gives us even if he gave us a break-even point, saying, I gotta sell 100 bacon, egg, and cheeses a week to make this work, 100 cups of coffee, 15 or 20 Bloody Marys a day, whatever it is, and we'll see what happens.
All right, so why don't, maybe we can talk to him about two things. One, what's the break-even cost of opening an extra half an hour at the window, and what's the break-even cost of opening the restaurant and staffing it? And then that's separate from the weather conversation, I think.
Honestly, I think all he needs is somebody that can, well, you can buy drinks at that window, so it's not like you need a bartender. You can buy Bloody Mary, you can buy beer and everything else at that window at 7 o'clock in the morning. So what it is about, you're not gonna need an extra cook. And I understand the security issue, that he's got a lot of inventory and things in there like that, I get it. But you still have you have a bartender and a cook and a waitress. They're there anyway. So how hard is it to walk out and look at the bar and say, is there anybody out there? And, that's where I'm coming from. I don't understand that.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thanks for listening.
All right, we will unmute her.
She hung up.
All right. She was probably talking and nobody said anything.
But she can unmute herself.
Yeah, that's true, that's
Yeah.
true. She probably didn't know. Anyway, all right. All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. All right.
I'll second.
Second it, thank you. All in favor? All right, thank you.